Okay, hi. For those of you who stayed here, thank you. I think you made the right decision because this is going to be your life-changing lecture. And this is also the reason I like to come to the Baltics in general. Not too much crowd, not too much pressure. Honestly, I would imagine that you don't know exactly why you're here and what you're about to hear, and actually I have nothing to tell you. This is going to be a most interesting and diverse and strange talk ever. The success of this event right now and the time I have for myself will be if we will be able to communicate, if we will be able to exchange ideas. So I really openly invite you to share your thoughts as I go along. Since I have no structure, and I don't know how many of you, because I deal a lot with innovation and technologies and stuff. Anyone here has a startup, relates to it, knows what a startup is, okay? I would imagine, yes. Don't be shy, no one is here, so really it's like, okay, so you know what a startup is. You know what an acceleration, incubation programs are for startups, I would imagine. Great. You know Israel? Well, probably you heard over the news. Let me tell you what I know. So my first time here was 2016. It was the first time I ever visited Lithuania. I was actually coming from Riga, from Latvia, which I knew before. And I landed in Login. Same venue since 2016, didn't change. The amount of people was also back then huge. The difference was not so much tech. It was more people coming to enjoy the sun because they choose the right date of the year. You know this as Lithuanians. It's a great time, lots of sun. There is not much to eat. They don't give lunch here, so you need to buy your own. So that was not the attraction. So the attraction was actually people coming to get knowledge. So I come from Israel, and as you know, right now we are in a state of war. If I learned something about Lithuania, and since being here in 2016 and continue coming to Login each and every year, is that you are as much as a fighting nation as we are. Only you started kind of 500 years ago when you ruled Europe. Now you don't rule much, but at least what I want to feel, or what I'm kind of searching in Lithuania, is the fighting spirit. You have no problem putting Putin in his place. This I heard over the news. Same kind of what we do. So the decision coming here was not easy, let me tell you. Situation is not of the best right now in my country. And leaving a family and everything and coming here was tough. As you see on the news, what we have doesn't stop. But I did come just because, first of all, I do it every year. And I do come with a message. And the message, first of all, says that Lithuanians are as good as anyone else I know when it comes to tech and entrepreneurship. The drive is a little bit different. The self-acknowledgement, the inner trust of yourself is a little bit different. And I would like very much to touch on this topic. I want to bet in a way that if I will ask you to shout, "We are the best," or "I am the best," it's a little bit difficult because you maybe don't have the words in your language. But I think it's important that you will find them and you will understand that everything starts with your self-acknowledgement of understanding that you can make it best as anyone else. And all the mumbo-jumbo of ex-Soviet and introverts, that no one believes anymore. People know the Baltics and people know Lithuania. First of all, because you won the NBA, so that's kind of kudos to you. Not many did. But aside of basketball, which kind of is the national thing, it's the understanding that you as people can make it as best as anyone else. My kind of role, which I took on myself since the first time I was here, was really to cultivate, to push higher as much as I can, this self-esteem of the nation. One of the programs that you maybe heard of was called Tech Hub. This program ended end of last year, but it was running for several cohorts, and it produced several startups, actually good ones. Some of them were actually competing yesterday in the World Cup competition that we had. I don't know if you heard about it, but the winner which is Salesforge, is going to go and compete for $1 million in California. That is really big, if you think about it. I don't know, motivation towards technology, or for me, the engagement that you need to find as an entrepreneur really starts somewhere deep inside you. As an entrepreneur, you are as poor as it gets. You have nothing to show for yourself aside brain and hopefully some audacity, some inner power that gives you the power to actually circulate in this huge event with hundreds of people and try and connect. Starting with, first of all, introducing yourself, connecting with someone, and then, if you find the courage, actually say on stage, I want to raise €1 million. That doesn't come easy. And if I know something about Lithuanians, and by the way, a lot of it comes from TikTok. I don't know why they decided to put on TikTok, the Lithuanians don't engage, don't communicate, don't talk to us, just walk away. I know it to be very different, but what I want to do is kind of to push higher and stronger what you can do as people. If I learned something in these years of doing entrepreneurship in a very competitive environment, which is my country, we have 250 acceleration and incubation programs, little bit more than you have. Population-wise, we are, let's say, 9 million, almost 3 times bigger than you, in a way. But regardless, we are referred to as a startup nation. And the fact that we are a startup nation, first of all, you know why we are called so? Just guess, I will help you. Because we decided to call ourselves Startup Nation. No one gave this to us for free. We took it. And if this is something you need to know, maybe do more, is start owning what you want for yourself, because no one will give this to you. So what I also learned is that most of what we all know as people, we didn't learn on ourselves. We heard from someone. So next topic would be, start learning yourself. Get some cuts and bruises. Go out there. Do everything that you are used to do, just opposite. Everything that you think about, just opposite. So coming back to the topic of skin in the game. Do you know what we mean when we say skin in the game? Anyone? No, don't be like this, no? Help. Skin in the game. That would mean that when you are, as a startup, as an entrepreneur, meet an investor and you say, hey, I want €1 million, he would ask you, what's your skin in the game? What did you bring from yourself to be entitled to my 1 million? What did you do? A lot of us, especially in this ecosystem, feel that it is okay just to have a great idea and approach someone and say, give me the money. And the reason, if you will give me the money, then I will have money to develop what I just promised you. But this is not how this game is played. It's totally the other way. You have no reason to approach anyone requesting for anything before you have what to prove. And this proof needs to be done by you, by your skin in the game, but what you are willing to put out there. Now I know startups, as much as you will think in your country, don't really make sense even to do. You know why? Because 96% of startups shut down first year of operation. So why to be a homeless from beginning? I would imagine that, let's say, people my age that will talk to their parents and say, hey, I have an idea, I want to have a startup. It will be like a startup, schmartup, get a real job. Why? There is no money there. Probably you will fail. Why go there? And this failure issue is a big, big topic. But it does not just relate to startup. It relates to everything that you do in life. When you go to a job interview, when you go on a date, well, the odds are there that you might just fail. So here is a newsflash for you. Failure is a major building block for success. If you will go to be interviewed by Google, one of the questions, and I assure you this, would be, did you fail before? And what did you do? By the way, if you go to investors' in Israel at least, this is what they will ask you. Have you failed before? Because if you smile and say, no, they will say, statistically, you're going to fail with my money. Go fail somewhere else and come back to me. That is the realization about failure. It's not a mark. It's not something that, hey, no one will touch you. It is so in other countries. My country, well, the difference is, and I'm talking about it not because it's kind of far away. By the way, it's only 3 hours and a little bit by flight. But it's light years away in way of perception. In way of understanding, not how life works, it's the fact that we live with a sense of urgency. I don't know if you know this about us. Your national sport is walking. Our national sport is flying somewhere. This is what we like to do. Why? Because we live in the today. We don't plan much for the tomorrow just because it's really uncertain with us. You is a little bit different. What I'm saying is, be open to adopt it specifically if you are thinking entering into startup world. And this is how this is played. So, as you know all, how startups start, it starts usually with the one person with the one idea. That's it and that's all. In 99% of the case, the person with the idea has no capacity to turn the idea into something because he does not know anything about technology. And this is where it usually stops. So they need to combine some techie with some ideation. They come together. On a day-to-day, they have nothing to talk about. Nothing whatsoever. He speaks tech, he speaks marketing and dreaming. When they come together, usually there is a spark. They fight. They don't get along so well at the beginning, although they are best buddies. But at the end, something comes. And this is what we want to achieve. So the first time you will turn to someone asking for money, you better show for yourself. Not intent, not willingness to do once I get it. Skin in the game means that I have already begun my journey, regardless of anyone's decision. Which is very similar to the fact that I can tell you that I'm the best. And you know why? Because I was the best before coming into this room. I'm already validated from somewhere, by the way, by my mother usually. This is why I'm here to tell you that you can be the same. It's a matter of decision. So whatever you saw before, ChatGPT and AI and values, all that is amazing. But it needs to start with you, with the one decision that I want to walk this way, not just for entrepreneurship, not just for startup, for yourselves, that you really want to achieve something. Then, engagement. And I know how hard this engagement is because I can almost guess that those of you who sit next to someone, you know this someone. It's a he or a she who is your friend already. This is how we are usually as people. But if I would ask you at the entrance, why are you here? You will say to network. With whom? With your friends of 10 and 15 years that you know? So why are you together? Well, for us as people, again, it's very comforting to sit next to someone we know. But to approach someone we don't know, to actually say to someone we don't know, I need your help, that is not easy. That doesn't matter the language, doesn't matter the territory. It's not easy. Until you learn that that's the only way to proceed, to progress, is by coming together. So I'm just betting that if you Lithuanians go to have some fun in Tenerife or in I don't know, in France or in UK, and you walk the street and you hear your language, you go, let's move, and you do this. We are exactly the opposite. We bond. Why? Because we are under constant threat. So we bond. Like the small fish come together against the barracuda, like the small birds against the eagle. This is how we are. This is how we are programmed. And now I know it works for us. It does not mean that it needs to work for you. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to startup, there is a clear common denominator. People with smart and intelligence, poor for money, very capable, very motivated. And I'm saying this sometimes because I'm wearing one hat as a startup, one hat as an accelerator, and one hat as an angel investor. I see it all. And I can tell you from the position of an angel investor, someone with the money, you need to remember, you as an entrepreneur, you will always do something no angel investor does, is to wake up in the morning, think about something, and go all the way with turning a dream into reality, an idea into action, something of a thought into something of a product. Investors, well, as smart as they are, they have to offer money. That's the clear transaction. What I want to say is, number one, do not be afraid to try, for sure not because of failure. Embrace failure. I don't say fail all the time. No one will invest if you will answer, yes, I'm failing constantly. That's not good. You need to win sometimes, but small wins, low-hanging fruit. So if you are here in Login, which prouds itself with innovation, technology, definitely you're in the right place. The simple question is, what are you going to do about it? Do you actually going to take the plunge of moving forward? Would you just take a photo of my details and call me? How many speakers put their mobile phone? By the way, it's the right number. It's not a joke. You know why I put the number here? Simply, no one calls me. So either I'm that bad, or you all think usually what I get is tell you so probably very busy. Well, newsflash, I'm not. How about that? I'm not. I travel the world. I go from country to country. I stand on a stage and I talk. Do you see a presentation? No. Why? Because I don't believe that if you are a person of age, maturity, experience, why would you need to pay to Microsoft to flip slides if you are unable to talk? The first thing I see startups do in the meeting with investors, they pull out the laptop and open it. For what? Well, investors invest in a laptop, in a presentation, they invest in you. If you are incapable of holding a conversation of 30 minutes, go out the room, go practice, do something with yourself. You're matured already. Which comes to another topic of the reason that you are here. By the way, there are other stages that you can go, and probably, I would not say more talented than me, but kind of okay-ish speakers. And that comes also with some character to know who you are. But there needs to be a reason that you are here. And let me tell you, there is no reason. You're just kind of lazy to stand up and go, because you're already here. It's okay to say it. It's not even embarrassing, not even for me. But what I want to say is that you should have a purpose. Each and every one of you should, first of all, respect his own time, he or she. And if you are here, there needs to be a reason. So I expect when I will say, do you have any questions? All of you are going to say, hey, Tal, I want to ask you something. Otherwise, again, why are you here? Not just here in my lecture. Why are you here in Login? No, why are you in Lithuania? But why are you here in Login? And I expect, as I see mature people sitting here, that you will all have some kind of a purpose. And by the way, if that purpose was to just listen to me, why are you here from morning? Come, listen to my lecture and go. It's as simple as that. Unless you paid, I don't know, 3 euros and it hurts your pocket, which is okay. But I'm saying, come with a purpose, feel the purpose, and just move on. This is how you respect your time. This is how you respect yourself. And yes, everything starts from you. Now I know it sounds a little bit corny to say it over and over again, but this is how it is. And if you want to go somewhere, I think the best start would be to know where you want to go. Did you ever drive somewhere, start your Google map or Waze without putting a destination? No, so why are you here? Now again, it's not to just, I don't know, punch it into you, pinch you a little bit and get you annoyed. It's for you to come out and say, okay, number one, Tal, very interesting. Can I call you? The answer is already yes. Will you call me? The answer probably no. But if you would to call me, then you better have a reason to call. It could be a question about every and any topic, and you need to be ready to speak like 1 minute, that's even too much, and get some answers, be ready with a paper and a pen. This is how I would see if I were you, and I would meet someone like me that can do some shortcuts to me. Now I can tell you from experience, you need to go through some cuts and bruises. You need to feel it on your skin. Skin in the game, you need to be hurt a little bit just to learn better, but you don't have to have it all the time. You need to come to I would say, some kind of an understanding There are people that can do shortcuts for you, that people love to help. That's something amazing that I've learned. Well, not if you look like you with this angry face looking at me, but when you smile, well, people tend to smile back. This is the kind of, I don't know, language agreed between people. Smile more, I don't know, interact more, say what you want. Women, you usually say to men, well, you know what I want. No, I don't know what you want. What am I, psychic? Talk. Now, you women are more verbal than men, so kind of use it. Men, learn to talk. Super important. If you are unable to communicate, you're not in a good spot. So, since I said that I was going to give you some time to have a discussion with me, and then you're welcome to raise your hand. Anything and everything, starting with, I don't know, self-love, some, I don't know, self-values, how to approach, how to engage, how to go into entrepreneurship, how to make an idea a reality, how to turn what you feel inside someone should do to something that you actually do. And let me tell you, it's a long, long journey. Statistically, from idea to the exit everyone speaks about. When I say exit, I don't mean exit. You know what I mean by exit? Yes, right? Okay, making some money. Statistically, 8 to 10 years. That's a long journey of being poor, very long. Are you ready to go through this? I don't know. Are there shortcuts? Yes, they are. Do you want to engage and listen to that? You are most welcome to do so. So, what I want to share with you again is, first of all, my details. Should you want to learn more and engage more in turning what you have maybe as an idea into something? That's a one. Second, don't ask people, is it a good or bad idea? Be more specific on what you want to know. If you want to look for trends, I think you kind of know already the trends when it comes to technology. You will hear a lot about AI. Well, AI is revolving around all of us, God knows. I was just moderating a panel on the impact of artificial intelligence on culture heritage. It goes to everywhere and everything. We're this close to be, I don't know, controlled maybe. In honesty, I think we're just becoming more lazy. I mean, think about it for a second. The machines right now, since they don't have a soul, don't really feel that they have an ego to control us. It's us and the movies that we make about it, not the machine. In fact, we're just becoming more and more and more lazy. And the machine kind of helped to support it. If you have an idea about this topic, go right ahead and do. You want it, you don't want it, it's coming. So robotics in general, if you have kids at school right now, push them towards robotics. That's the thing to learn. Mechanics, robotics, this is where the world is already there. I mean, you should also assume that some technologies around us that already exist are just not implemented. I mean, do you use Waze when you drive? Some of you, right? Waze was invented in Israel. By the way, spoiler, everything I'm going to ask, say Israel, probably 99% you're right. So, Waze was invented in Israel, acquired by Google for how much? A lot. 1.1 billion. Interesting part about this, you know how much equity, you know what's equity? Shares. The founder of Waze had, when the company was sold for 1.1 billion, less than 1%. Now ask yourself, what? Well, a 1% from a billion is not bad. And a salary for the whole life, yes, but why? Why? Because every time you raise money, the only thing you can give is equity. Diluted, diluted, diluted. This much. This is how hard the life of an entrepreneur is. So, when we talk about driving using Waze, do you see that you see your speed? If you see the speed, do you see that you exceed the speed? If you see that, does Google see that? Yes. So why don't you get a ticket while driving? Gling, 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 gling. Because they know what will happen. but it's just another line of code and enter. And you will start get tickets while driving. So understand, a lot of the technology around us is just not kind of turned on. You also the TV, the Netflix. Anyone? Social dilemma? Please write, watch Netflix, social dilemma. I'm telling you, just the one spoiler, you will see it at the end of the movie. You're all deleting all your apps. Nothing, 5 minutes after, you reinstall. So don't forget the passwords, because you're going to reinstall it. Because for some reason, you all feel, same as me, by the way, if I'm not on Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta, I'm kind of gone. But what you will see in that film are the C-levels, the seniors from Twitter, X today, Facebook, LinkedIn, telling you how the machine called social network is just operating us the way they want. And it's all for one thing, guess, Pinigay, all for the money. That's it and that's all. There is nothing social there aside making money on our back. Because I will ask you, any of you pay Facebook? Your first answer would be, of course not. Really? Your time doesn't worth money? When you look like zombie? Why? Why by the end of this lecture you will go out and the first thing you will see, who is looking for you? Who the hell do you think you are? Prime Minister of nothing. Who is looking for you? No one. But we have this insight. Not because of you, because we became addicted by them. I'm not pointing fingers. I'm just saying, watch the movie and be ready to delete everything social on your phone. And you will learn why. So, for me, by the way, what is interesting is the smart, is the genius people that sit behind it and make us all addicted. At this point, if you're little bit even interested to know more, I would love to know, and I'm not pulling your leg here, I'm really trying to interact. Do you have any topic that punched to your mind that you want to ask about or know more about everything or anything I have spoken here? Raise of a hand. By the way, I do a bet for this, so I win it every time. The thing is that I don't believe you have nothing in your minds, because otherwise you were not listening to me. I think it's kind of the factor that you're thinking what someone else will think about your stupid question. So there are not stupid questions. There are people just not wanting to ask. So let me tell you, I rather be the one that regrets saying something than the one that regrets not saying it. Now it fires back on me a lot. But I rather have it. So just think, in your adult life, did you have ever had a confrontation, an argument with someone, and only before falling asleep, in your mind, you were saying, I should have said this, and I should have answered this, and I should have told him this. This is most of us, unless you become more aware. Unless you become more aware that nothing will be given to you for free. You need to work for it. So, let me send you home with some homework. Number one. The parents sitting in the room, I'm giving you an assignment. The assignment would be that at least 3 times a day, you're telling your kids in the morning how beautiful they are, noon how smart, evening how successful. Let me tell you, 54 years after, day in, day out, it works. It really builds self-esteem. This is where your kids needs to be supported. Number one is at home. I know that in some countries, I'm not saying here, the teacher is usually right. Enough with this, okay? Your kids are always right, even if they are young. This is how we bring up our kids. And it's super important for me to tell you, this builds character. Number 2, learn to engage and communicate. You are overthinking it. Now, I'm saying it to the men. Women are built to overthink, cannot handle it. Even not me, with my feminine energy, cannot influence it. I'm saying it to the men. Become verbal and engaging. If you will walk around here just talking to your friends, nothing will come out of it. And I know how difficult it is to turn to someone right now, and I will gladly do the drill for you and tell you, look at the person to your left or your right and talk. But you will not. Try and do something with, at least take it with you in your minds. That's 2. 3, have a purpose. Please have a purpose. Same as you will travel somewhere and you will put destination, this should be your daily drill, is put a destination. What do you want to gain? What can I do in order to reach the purpose? Otherwise, you will sound a little bit like my kids when I ask them, how was the party? Good. How was the school? Great. That's it. No conversation. It's a one word, fine. You can't. You're expected to do some more. I mean, I would expect after you being here 2 days is to have some substance, not just what you liked, but maybe what you didn't like, what you achieved. What did you learn that will push you onwards, aside my lecture, of course. This needs to be something, I don't know, vibrating inside you, okay? So this is already 3 things. I will not give you more because I know that you will not do the 3, but I'm trying. Same as every student, you do homework probably a day before you need to submit. But do take it with you and do understand. It starts with you. It's that, honestly, that simple. Now I honestly will ask you, I don't know how, excuse me, how am I on time? I don't see anything. Actually, 5 minutes, okay. I'm gladly sharing my last 5 minutes with you because I can stand here all day. I'm kind of practiced on it. Do you want to share anything? Do you have any topic or a question that you want to ask, please?
How many founders you see actually do understand?
I cannot even hear you.
How many founders you see do understand that they will actually need to plunge for 8 to 10 years, or they just go all in and see what happens year after year? You know, what is the mindset?
Yeah. I would say that, you know, it's a good question because sorry? Yeah. So, do we have, excuse me, organizer, do we have a microphone maybe for people here to talk? I would like them to introduce themselves. So a piece of advice to you all, if you're already getting the bravery to ask, stand up, present yourself. You can even say a few words about who you are, why you're here, and then you can ask me whatever you want or just talk to the audience. No, to this guy. So you can stand up and just for everyone to see.
Hello, my name is 𝐒𝐚𝐦𝐞, and I wanted to know how many founders in your experience do understand that they will need to plunge for 8 to 10 years and work it hard, or they just have this amazing idea and they just want to go with it, and it doesn't matter how long it's going to take or what, they just still want to do it, whatever happens. Right?
So the answer is very simple, 0. No one, especially not in this dying age, can think, honestly, 5, 8, and 10 years ahead. I don't see that happening. I mean, you can all say, I'm planning for the future. I don't believe you. This future changes so quick, so quick. May I remind you that the first time you heard about ChatGPT was actually November of 2022. That was the first time. From November 22 to February of 23, the only thing you can listen to on YouTube, on TikTok, maybe on Tinder, was ChatGPT. What happened in March? From March, you started to do the prompt, meaning what do I need to type in order to get the best answer from ChatGPT? It turned 3 months. From 0 to first million took 2 weeks. 1 million users took 2 weeks. Do you want to tell in this rate, in this speed, someone can actually plan 5 years from now? No way, Jose. So no entrepreneur I know actually tells himself, okay, I need to embrace myself. It's going to be hard. It's just going to take 3 to 5 years. No one can endure it. All entrepreneurs believe and dream they are going to reach their exit within a year. You know why? First of all, because for some it actually happens. It's not a science fiction. It really happens for some. And you would not believe even. I mean, the last one I heard is a bunch of 4 engineers that made an autonomous system for driving trucks. They were acquired, you know by whom? By Uber for $800,000 cash. And they worked 9 months on the project. How? Of course, they were Israelis. How? Unreal. So when you hear such stories, this is how you go into this tricky road. Otherwise, there is no way for you. But you also see, as I said, most just don't make it. What you see with us is that you fall, you stand up again, and you continue trying. And that's not for many, not for the weak-hearted anyway. I really and truly recommend you all at least to try joining a startup team, at least being the beginning of giving birth to an idea. I think that's the most exciting period of any startup before they really plunge into making technology. It's so addictive. Aside of winning the money, which is also very addictive and nice, doesn't happen to too many. Did I answer? Good. Any last question do we have? Anyone brave enough in the audience? Yes, please.
Hello. Yeah. Hi. I wanted to ask, is there something from your experience that makes you really just lose all belief in a founder when you meet them?
To what?
Yeah. Is there something that you've seen from your experience that makes you lose all the belief in the founder?
To believe, okay. I think I would say all mentors, investors, okay, a startup starts with a lot of dreams. That's a dream selling industry in general, okay? So, I mean, how can you believe a bunch of a 25, 27, 30-year-old can come up with a spaceship? But they believe they can. By the way, they do. There was a big project by Google to land an unmanned spaceship in space, and there were teams from all over the world. Israeli team came this close. They actually launched the spaceship, and it crashed on the moon. It didn't land well. Immediately, we went to phase 2 to make another one. Let me tell you the amazing part here. The challenge by Google was to land an unmanned spaceship on moon, then launching up again, make it move about, I don't know, 50 or 100 meters and land again. The only person who came up with the idea of actually just putting wheels and moving it, not relaunching, they had to move it, was a 14-year-old from the Israeli team that came up with the idea just to roll it. So just think where smarts come from. The belief stops when there is no tangibility, meaning nothing happens. So you stick with a presentation looking very nice, pitching very well, but there is no technology to support it. When you do not have the it's not about you selling dreams and promises, that's not interesting. When there is no technology, this is where everything ends. So what I say, start quick with the technology. Don't learn how to pitch. Don't make the best pitch deck. Don't make the best one-pager. Make the technology. And it first of all supports you. I know I need to end. It needs to support you. Okay? I hope I answered. Good. I know now you all want to ask. We're done with the time. I want to say this. If I know something, and this is from years of being in the Baltic, specifically in Lithuania. Let me tell you, when I started in 2015, it was Estonia #1, Latvia, Lithuania. I'm telling you, Lithuania is up. I'm not just being nice, invite me again. Login will invite me again if you don't want to. But I really see the change. I see the numbers grow. I was judging an amazing competition yesterday. I know the force. I want to see more of that. And this more is sitting here somewhere and walking somewhere outside. Believe in yourself. Have a target. And remember about the kids. 3 times a day. Push, push, push. Thank you so much for listening to me. Atula Bay.
Thank you very much.